Subject matter: the mighty men of valor. And I think the text for the meeting is from Joshua chapter 1 verse 14. So I'd like to look at that. I will just start from there. It's a lot of things to share, but we'll just take it from somewhere. Joshua chapter 1 verse 14. And the Bible says, your wives and your little ones and your cattle shall remain in the land which Moses gave unto you on this side Jordan. But you shall pass before your brethren armed, all the mighty men of valor, and help them. So there are people who go to war. It's not every man. It's the mighty men of valor. And most times when there's a short supply of mighty men of valor, then the wives and the children become vulnerable. The wives and the children become vulnerable and possessions are lost. So they will have to cross and possess their possessions, and it has to be the men. And they call them the mighty men of valor. So I began to look up the natural definition for the word valor, and it means courage in the face of fear or challenge. So you can find the man who is faced with so much challenge, but yet he still has courage. So not every man, but the one that carries courage.
Yes.
When you look at the lion, is known as the king of the jungle. It's not the biggest.
Yes.
It's not the fastest. It's not the strongest. But there's an attitude that it carries, and that attitude is what makes the lion the king of the jungle. The elephant is bigger. The cheetah is faster. But when the lion gets into the jungle, it runs.
Yes.
And takes over the territory. And God is looking for those kind of men who, even if you're not the biggest, even if you're not the strongest, you feel like this is not your country, you feel like you are a foreigner. Let me tell you something, there is no man that is a foreigner anywhere. No child of God is a foreigner anywhere. No, the earth is the Lord's and his fullness thereof, the world and all that dwell therein. So everywhere you are belongs to your Father. Am I talking to somebody? So you are in your land, and God will give you this land. God will bless you in this land. God will prosper you in this land. As a matter of fact, Joseph was not in his country. He stepped into Egypt, and in that place God moved protocols and brought him into the place of power. You know, sometimes we carry some mindset that limits us. But in this service, those mindsets are going to be broken. Amen. And they will step into your inheritance. I thought I'm hearing someone's loud amen. And so it says, mighty men of valor, they are the ones that will go into the battle. So when a man is not courageous, then the woman becomes vulnerable. The children becomes vulnerable. It begins to shake the family system. Because what happens then is that when the woman sees the vulnerability of her children, she decides to man up. Yes. And then she begins to do what a man ought to do. And in the process, sometimes the woman loses her femininity. And so you come back and want to talk to a soft woman. No, but she has become a man.
Yes.
And then the children lose the tenderness. So in this service, it's very vital that men step into the place of valor. That men become courageous. You watch a scenario where maybe you find back there in Africa, armed robbers broke into a house, and then the man went and hid in the ceiling and bring out the family to tell them that our father is not around. it should be the wife and the children. And you face the fear.
Yeah.
The reason why God gave the man strength is to protect the women and not to brutalize them.
Yes.
Am I preaching this morning?
Yes.
So when you don't understand the purpose, it's then abused. Is something wrong for a man to get home and the children and the wife is scared of him? The enemies should be scared of you. When you come home, they should be free.
Yes.
Because the house will not be a military barracks, a command. Oh, yeah. They should feel protected around you.
Yes.
That's why God gave you strength. And so God says the people that will go to the battle is not everyone. Now, valor talks about courage and strength. Man is associated with power. And so it is essential for a man to carry power. A man loses relevance when he does not carry power. There are dimensions of power. You find economic power. The man has money. It gives him influence. There's political power. The man has a political position. And because of that, it gives him influence. There's social power. This guy is famous. He's a star. It gives him influence. There's another power. Spiritual power gives the man influence. Yes. So no matter wherever you are, you evaluate yourself, because what is used to define manliness is the power that you wield. It is an error for a man to be without power. An error. That man will be trampled upon.
Yes, yes.
And so, when you get to that point, you check yourself. You check yourself. But regardless of that, then God's definition of power is basically spiritual, because he said that this man is rich but is not rich towards God. So no matter what you are, if you're not spiritually powerful, then your family is vulnerable, your life is vulnerable. And then you wonder why the devil is jumping on all of your children, jumping on your house, jumping on your business, jumping on everything. Because the man does not wield spiritual power.
Yes.
When you read in Judges chapter 6 from verse 7, you know, God met Gideon. And they had to fight with the Midianites. And they were all scared, including Gideon. He was scared. Now, English defines power as valor as courage in the face of challenges. All right. Well, God's definition now, when I look at Gideon, the angel of the Lord came to him and called him, Gideon, thou mighty man of valor. We don't have time, we would have read through up to about verse 10 and verse 11 and 12. God called him, the angel called him, thou mighty man of valor, but he was hiding in the press. So he wasn't facing challenge head on, he was running away from it. But the angel called him, thou mighty man of valor. And then God told him, you're going to go to battle, and you will call all of the armies. And he called 32,000 men. And God said, what I'm going to do, I don't need all of the soldiers. I need mighty men of valor like you as well. And God said, announce to the men that something is going to happen. If you are scared of going to battle, just go back home. You know, there are some times that we ask men to do certain things, and they don't want to do it. They're just dragging their feet. They're looking for the opportunity for you to tell them, don't do it. And they say, I've been waiting for this thing the whole time. We're all there. About two of us. There's something you don't want to do, but you're just doing it because you are the man in the house and you have to do it. So any slightest, voicing that, okay, I know you don't want to just forget it, and you're like, I've been waiting for this the whole time. And he came up and announced, if you're scared of going to the battle, then you can leave. And instantly 22,000, they didn't have to think about it. They were 32,000, but instantly 22,000 packed and left. So they didn't want to go in the first place. And there were only 10,000 left. And God said, I'm still going to pass these people through a test. 10,000 is still too much. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it with everybody. That's why the Bible says many are called, but few. There's a process of the choosing. There's a test that you have to pass to be chosen. And so the Bible said they took the 10,000 to the water to go and drink. And immediately they got to the water, God told him, just stand by the side and watch. And while he was watching, the rest knelt down and was drinking water with their two hands. And then there were only about 300 men that knelt down and put their head and drank the water with their hand by the sword. And God said, these are the ones you are going to go with. And it was 300 men. Now, the people that went and got the victory in the land of the Midianites, now, they will come back as champions. The other 31,700, they all had the same opportunity. They all had the same opportunity, but only 300 chose to become champions. So in the journey of life, God has given every man an equal choice, regardless of where you are, to become great. To become great. You see, women, they are proud of great men. Very proud of great men. Men that wield power.
Yes.
I'm telling you. You see a police officer, just because he has uniform, a woman is just, he has that uniform, there's power there. And they are just, I'm telling you, go to Africa, a new person that just got recruited into police today because he has power. Because they are created to be protected. So they want to be with people that have power.
Yes.
They don't want to be vulnerable. And so there's always a test that God passes every man through. He calls a lot of people, but he passes men through tests. Before God can trust a man, he will first of all test him. God cannot trust a man that he has not tested yet.
Well.
And in every generation, God is passing men through a test.
Yes.
God is passing men through a test. And I'm going to take the text that we read in Genesis chapter 22. I'll use Abraham. He's also a man of valor, a man of courage. A man of courage. Genesis 22. I'm going to use Abraham as a case study. There's about 6 tests that God passes every man through before God consolidates power on the man. We remember back while we were all growing up, so many of us have passion for ministry. But when the time of test came, some people fell by the wayside. They are not there anymore. There are people that God will seat the economic power on. God is going to distribute these powers in this room today. Amen. Economic power, political power, social power, spiritual power in this room today. Amen. And I don't know the one you desire as a man. That one is the one you will catch.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. That one is the one you catch.
Yes.
So the number one test from verse 2, Genesis 22 verse 2. And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains I I will tell thee of. So the number one test is the test of submission. God called him, take now thy son, thy only son. God cannot trust a man who has not passed through the test of submission.
Yes.
One of the things that is found in the life of men naturally is arrogance and pride. We're expected to be, do you know who I am? So before God will trust a man, he looks for a man that can submit to God. A man that can yield to God. He calls you, and every single day he's testing you to see what you can do. Take now thy son, thy only son, the one you love. So and God will test you in those places that you hold dear in your life. The test of submission. Control. No man can control you. You are an accident going somewhere to happen.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
No man can control you. That is dangerous. Because those who are not controlled cannot control anything.
Yes.
When you go to Africa, you get a young man, they pick him from the village and take him to go and learn maybe business. He lives in it and serves a man for 7 years. He's serving the man for 7 years. The man has never brought him one day and taught him anything. He's just in the morning. You tell him, go and wash my car. By 4 a.m., the man's children is sleeping. The guy is washing car.
Yes.
The children of the man is watching TV. They tell him, don't watch television. Go into the room. Control. After 7 years of those rigorous control, the man comes out. Give him a year or two. He's building houses everywhere. Because there is something that submission instills in a man.
Yes.
It teaches discipline into that man. The Bible says, submit to God and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. A lot of people are trying to resist the devil without first of all submitting to God. And that's why he says the 7 sons of Sceva tried to do it, and the demon said, Jesus I know, Paul I know. Who are you? Because in submission, that is where authority is conferred on a man. It's in submission that authority is released on a man. And they are not submitted, so authority has not been conferred upon them. So their name carries no relevance. The test of submission. When the Bible says that the poor in spirit shall inherit the earth, right? The poor in spirit shall inherit the earth. What does it mean? Abraham was one of the men, because God willed the world to Abraham. The entire world, he willed it to him. So the promise of the earth was made to you and to your seed. Will the world to one man. Why? Because the man was completely dead. Until angels attend your funeral, God cannot use you.
Yes.
You have to be completely dead to self. Why? What does it mean to be poor in spirit? It has nothing to do with the state of your bank account. It has everything to do with the state of your heart. When you come to the place where you say, God, whatever you give me, it's not me. It does not belong to me. It is yours. Any day you ask me for it, I will lay it down at your feet.
Yeah.
That is what it means to be poor in spirit. You can have millions and still be poor in spirit. You say you are not puffed up by what God has given to you, because you believe that you are a custodian of whatever you've received. And any day that Jehovah calls you and says, I need this, you lay down. And that is the text that God passed Abraham through, and saw that even his son, he did not withhold it from him. And that's why God swore and said, bless him. I can trust this man, I will bless him. Because there are thousands of people asking God for this blessing. God is not looking for men that you will bless and they will put in their bank accounts. He's looking for channels that he will use to share it to the earth.
Right.
And he can only give it to selfless men, not the kind of politicians we have in Nigeria. No, selfless men. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
God will test you for submission. There are days he will ask you for deep things, difficult things, and he's testing you at every point in time. Submit yourself to God. Submit yourself to authority. Like electricity, it has so much power and current, but there is a resistor. It can only be used because because there is something that steps it down. The resistor steps down the electricity.
Yes.
And it becomes useful. Amen. It becomes useful because there's a resistor. If nothing is controlling and resisting you, you don't get useful. It becomes a danger somewhere. Hallelujah.
Yes.
And the second test, go to verse 4. Then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. God told him, there's a place that you're going to go to sacrifice your son to me. He did not discuss it. He took the boy and he traveled for 3 days. The journey happened for 3 days. Because God was trying to see if he's going to change his mind. But for 3 days he took the boy, he was gone. So the second test is the test of sensitivity. The test of sensitivity. What defines a man also is the ability to navigate his life and the life of every other person that is following him. It is fatal for you not to know the next step to take in your life. Maybe you're married and your wife is telling you, what's the next thing now? What's the next plan? What's the next plan? But you don't know. You don't know. It's a very fatal place to be. God, I'm confused. You don't know the job to go for. You are in between opinions. Should I relocate from this country to this country, or should I stay? You are just confused. God didn't tell Abraham the place. He told him, go, you sacrifice your son on Moriah. But when you get to Moriah, there are many mountains. Even on top of the mountain, there are many mountains. There are many mountains. I hope men are sitting here. I don't know why men are moving around. You don't get this anywhere. There are many mountains. Even on Mount Moriah. And God did not tell him. God had to allow him to figure the mountain out by himself. So he journeyed for 3 days. And he got to Moriah. And he looked on Moriah. There were so many other mountains in the place. Maybe you are looking, who should I marry? You are confused. There are so many beautiful women that look like it.
Yes.
You know, there's a saying that when a man marries the wrong wife, the devil leaves him because he has already finished him.
I think
Yes,
that's
Yes, sir.
Are you hearing me? And so it's a place where a man needs sensitivity in his life.
Yeah.
Because one wrong turn can ruin everything for you. One wrong decision can ruin everything for a man. And people are looking up to you. Thousands, a lot of things are depending on you. So when a man makes the wrong decision, things crash. Years is gone.
Final.
Years of labor is gone. Except God decides to restore the man and give him speed.
Yeah.
And so he kept traveling. And when he got to the mountain, he was looking for the place. God had to train him to develop his sensitivity. To develop his sensitivity. Because every single day man is making decisions. Every day man is making decisions.
Yes.
And if that man is not sensitive in the spirit, if that man does not have discernment, just one wrong turn, he's gone.
Yeah, finish.
He's gone. And so God had to train him for it. Men, we need sensitivity. And where is sensitivity developed? Is developed in the place of prayer. In the place of prayer, the Bible said, while they fasted and prayed, the Holy Ghost said, separate to me Paul and Barnabas for the ministry whereunto which I've called them. So when you pray, that is when you hear instructions from God. No wonder Jesus said, men always ought to pray and not faint. Because there are decisions that you make in the flesh, it can destroy you.
Yes.
The Bible says there's a way that seems right unto a man, but the end is destruction.
Yep.
So you look at it, this thing looks good. This business, if I invest in it, I'll blow. That's how your money goes. And you don't pray. Your friend just calls you and tells you something is happening in Spain and we're going to go. In fact, if you come here now, you just come home and tell, babe, we are packing to Spain. Just prepare yourself. Tell everybody, tell your family, tell everybody we are moving to Spain because somebody told you and sold you an idea that looked so good to be true. Almost good is not good enough.
At all.
At all.
So it takes a man that is spiritual. You stay in the place of prayer, you are praying. There's a level where you pray into the spirit and you begin to pick the vibrations of God. And so Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the mountain and said, this is the place. Imagine he missed the mountain. God didn't tell him. God allowed him to figure it out by himself. He said, this is the place. And then as good as it is, he climbs the mountain and God is not there. He will come down again, climb another one, God is not there. He would have been doing trial and error. And that's how most of us are living our life, on trial and error. As many as are led by the Spirit, they are the sons of God.
Yes.
You get to a level where you become too old to be doing trial and error. You just have to stay and just pray and pray and pray and just get the voice of God.
Yes.
I just have to go, my time is fast spent. So the next one, and verse 5, and Abraham said unto his young men, abide here with the asses or the donkey. It's actually donkey, that's what it means. Hallelujah. Okay. And I and the lad will go yonder to worship and come to you again. The third test is the test of separation. Separation. It's not everybody that you will carry on the journey to destiny.
Yes.
It's not everybody that is qualified to follow you to where God is taking you to.
Right.
While we're growing up, there's a saying we used to have that 20 children don't play together for 20 years.
That's right. That's right.
So it gets to a time where separation has to be made. Because destiny is calling my name. Destiny is calling your name.
Yeah.
And you have to look at certain people and tell them, I love you, I have nothing against you, but goodbye.
Yeah.
The test of separation. He knew that if he carried these men, they will stop him from obeying God. They'll say, Master, what's wrong with you? Are you mad? They'll tie his hands and feet, and they won't allow him to do what God has asked him to do. There are people in your life that will try to stop you from doing what God has asked you to do.
They're helping you.
Amen.
And believe that they are helping you.
Yeah.
It was Peter that came to Jesus and said, Jesus said, I'm going to die. Peter started rebuking him. To me by the side, do you know what you are doing? God, the master, Jesus. You carried Jesus to the side. Do you know what you are doing? Don't say that thing again. He thought he was helping. He had good intention. And Jesus said, Satan, get thee behind me. There are some people that you have to look at and tell them, Satan, get thee behind me. They'll be offended, but they don't mind.
Yes.
It's your destiny.
It's destiny that matters. You don't lose destiny at the place of relationship. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Are you being blessed? Should I stop the message or are you being blessed?
Percent.
Alright? So it says, stay with the lad, stay with the donkeys, and I and the lad will go yonder to worship. Because there's a higher place. There's a higher place. God is calling all of us up. God is calling every man in this room up. God is calling every man. It's time to man up to another level.
Amen.
Men that are going to be praying in their houses.
Amen.
You know, it's so wrong that a woman is the one that called the men, let's have morning devotion. And then even in the morning devotion, the man is snoring, sleeping. It makes the family vulnerable. And you wonder why the devil is buffeting everywhere, or wonder why there's no progress. Because the man is the prophet of the house.
That's right.
The Bible said that Becca was barren, and it was Isaac that laid hands on her, and the womb opened. Isaac is a prophet. You're the prophet of your house. Glory to God.
Hallelujah.
Glory to God.
Hallelujah.
Men, glory to God.
Hallelujah.
Am I too hard on the men or should I?
Right on.
I don't sir. Go to me.
Right on.
And so stay with the donkeys. There are some friends that you have to go. You have to let go. There are decisions you make today. Every year I do evaluations. Yes, on my relationships. What is this person adding to my life? Or what am I? If I'm not blessing you or you're not blessing me, there's no need.
Simple.
You don't waste each other's time.
Yeah.
You can't come here, we're talking about nothing. You're wasting my time.
Yeah.
So you evaluate some relationships and tell them, stay with the donkeys because I'm going somewhere.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's a saying that the people used to say, they say, I didn't come to Lagos to come and Cambridge.
Yes. Yeah.
So there are some people that maybe they came to Cambridge
Yeah.
and also they want to get you into the same thing of counting bridge. And that's not the business that brought you here. We have friends, even in ministry, they are those kind of friends.
That's right.
So you have to become careful about people.
Very, very careful.
If you are in the midst of 9 spiritual people, you become the 10th one.
Yes.
If you're in the midst of 9 millionaires, you become the 10th. Change your circle of relationship. In fact, you are 4 people away from your next level. 4 people away from your next level. It's relationship. There are people that when the Bible said when Mary came in contact with Elizabeth, the babies in their womb began to live because they were carrying children that carried the same destiny. They were not going the same way. There's no need. Even men has to be intentional, even in their relationships. There has to be a reason behind everything.
Yes, sir.
Glory to God. Verse 6. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them. The next verse. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. He said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? The test of supply. I'll just rush it. God is going to test you for where your trust is for supply. Sometimes God asks you to do something, you don't even have it. You don't have it. You don't know where your next meal will come from. Or there's a project, you don't know how it's going to happen. They are calling you. What Abraham said is the Lord will provide himself. The Lord will provide himself. Man has to come to that level where you don't shake, you don't fret. The Lord will provide himself. Am I talking to somebody? The one I come to you and tell you, the Lord will provide himself. Even, but while you are saying the Lord will provide himself, carry the wood and carry the fire.
Again.
The one that you have, be working with it at the moment. But always say, so the test of supply, where is your confidence? The next one. And they came to a place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. The next verse. And Abraham stretched forth his hands and took the knife to slay his son. Verse 11. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. The next verse. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. So the next one is the test of sacrifice. The test of sacrifice. God will want men that can make sacrifices for him.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you're ready to leave everything else. I'm not talking about you're becoming pastor, no. I'm talking about you're ready to lay things aside for God. You're ready. You know, some people asking me, what is the secret for prosperity? I said, you want it? He said, yes. I said, it's not in all of those seminars that you all go and try to learn how to be rich. It's not in those places. The secret of kingdom prosperity is in Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and every other thing. That's the secret. That when the kingdom of God becomes first. What God sponsors is not your ambition. What God sponsors is his vision. Why will God give a man can pray, Lord, give me private jet from now to tomorrow? He has no need for giving you. You want to show off. You want to show your village people you have arrived. God does not answer that kind of prayer.
That's right.
Say, Lord, give me. I want to reach out to Iraq. There are souls there.
Afghanistan.
I want to go to Afghanistan. I want to send messages there. Give me. If you give me, I will do it. God will make you a kingdom financier. He will trust you with his wealth. Because everything that God, the business of God is souls. The currency of God is souls. So if you are not speaking the language of God, he's not interested in what you're doing.
Yes.
It's his kingdom first. Lord, make me a millionaire. Germany, in short, those people are not spiritual. If you put money in my hand, we will take this nation for you. Those are the kind of men God is looking for.
Men of valor.
Men of valor. Put wealth in my hand, we will take this nation. We will take this country. That's the kind of people God is looking for. People that are kingdom minded. That's men of valor. That think in the currency of God. And so he took Isaac, his son. He said, even if it's the son my son is going to take, I'm giving it to you. He wanted to slay. God said, no, it's not your son that I need. Your son cannot save the world, but my son can do it. And then the final test is strategy. Strategy. I'm just closing on this. My time is already up, I suppose. The test of strategy. That a man did something like this, it worked, does not mean this man will do it like this, it will work. You look at someone and say, how did you do this thing? He said, I did it like this, and then it became a system. It became a system, or a standard for something. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Every time God is speaking, it was God that told him, slay your son. It's the same God that told him, don't slay him again. Now, if Abraham was traditional, God told me, he wasn't, I'm not listening, he will cut off his posterity. He will cut off his future. But he was listening at the time. There's no time to meditate on this. And when God saw that, God swore by himself and said, bless him and bless you. Make your name great. You know, the first time God promised him in Genesis 12, I will make you a great man, I will make you this. He had a great name, but he was not great. But it's in verse 22 that God conferred greatness on him. We're going to lift up our voice this afternoon and we're going to pray and say, Lord, make me a trustee of your power. Make me a trustee of your power. Just open your mouth and pray. If it's spiritual power you desire, if it's economic power, make me a trustee of your power. Make me a trustee of your power. I talk to men and pray. Pray like men. Pray like me. Pray like men. Pray like men. Men always ought to pray and not faint. When you see men praying, it's like Elijah. He prayed until things shake. Say, God, make me a trustee of kingdom power. It's not about me, it's about you, it's about your kingdom. In the name of Jesus.